ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the trustees and faculty of Vista College, I welcome you. Tonight we are here to recognize the state of the art in communications. Communications, the all-powerful center of man's evolution of thought, action, and emotion. Communications, the workhorse of industry, business, commerce, law, and entertainment. Communication, the protector of our American freedom, exposing both good and evil. The historical record of man, from the storyteller to Biblos, Gutenberg, to Rothschild's pigeons, telegraph, radio, television, computers, each has brought a new power, a new beauty, and a new influence. Communication control has always given the competitive edge to the holder of such power. Never before has man been able to pull together all of these mediums into one interactive system. Yes, the technology has been available for a few years, but one campus had to take the initiative and pull it all together. Tonight, we are here to celebrate and dedicate the taking of communications to its highest level in recorded history in higher education. It is fitting that such risk and dedication be at a liberal arts college where mankind is challenged to be liberated from the boundaries of its past and to have the courage to define new boundaries of exploration. It is fitting that 15 discs scan the skies for the miracles of satellite broadcasting from the centers of the world events to a college in the cornfields, and then to relay that message via the broadband to the classroom, laboratories, student rooms, offices, auditoriums, and even to the homes in the community of Storm Lake, in English, in German, in Spanish, in Japanese. It is fitting that events of the world are sought instantaneously by the demanding faculty of this college. It is fitting that the fine, proud, and energetic students of this campus learn to control the communications of this world before they step forth to lead in the state, nation, and the world. Yes, it is also fitting that we make communications part of the dream of Dr. Siebens, who had our college a single goal: to make it a leader in business and entrepreneurship, which he expressed during the dedication of the Harold Walter Siebens School of Business. And it is fitting that a liberal arts campus has the faculty and staff that fought for a totally integrated campus, as John Madsen did, and the experts in radio, print, television, and engineering, as we do with Paul Bowers and Dave Diamond and Mark Brockmeyer, and tonight's chairman, Bruce Ellingson, and also a provost like Dr. Brown, who knows the importance of communications. Tonight we welcome Americans' greatest authority in higher education evaluation, and we celebrate the works of our students in radio, television, and print. Dr. Brown, we eagerly await the formal dedication of our Center for Communications.
Greetings, President Briscoe. Greetings, Chairman Mack and the Board of Trustees. Greetings also to the faculty and students and staff of Buena Vista College, our distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure this evening to welcome you to the Center for Communications at Buena Vista College. And tonight with me are the faculty and a student who represent those who have put such dedicated service together to create and architect and inspire us to create this Center for Communication. With me tonight, for example, is the Dean of the School of Communication Art, Dr. Floyd Pace. And with him are his faculty from the School of Communication and Arts. In the area of print media, Mr. Bruce Ellingson. In the area of the television, Mr. Paul Bowers. In radio, Mr. Dave Diamond. In corporate communication, Dr. John Madsen. And our student senior representative for mass communication and corporate communication, Gene McDermott. It's really a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to thank those who have made this Center for Communication possible. In particular, I wish to thank the Board of Trustees, who with their unfailing service to this college and support have allowed us to proceed with this unusual facility. I want to thank the faculty and staff who worked so hard on the plans. I want to thank people like Mark Brockmeyer, our engineer, and the buildings and grounds crew who've created this facility in much of its carpentry and all of that sort of thing. I want to thank particularly President Briscoe. I want to thank the vice presidents because they supported this academic development. And I want to thank the past chairmen and deans of the school, people like Carl Atkins and Darrell Peck and Sandy Madsen and Michael Whitlatch and a host more, and I've probably forgotten someone's name, who worked through this program since 1973. So the mass communication and corporate communication were one of our major programs on this campus. The dedication ceremony has to do really with something that is more than a renovated facility. We're talking about a symbol here, a symbol that represents a distinctive institution, one of America's finest, particularly in telecommunications. A symbol that has to do with undergraduate education, of bringing our students to the threshold of the future. A symbol that has to do with the matching of the humanities, which is the theory of mass communication, and the hardware, the technology by which they can make that theory come true in practical terms. We're talking about a wired campus, America's first or one of the first intelligent campuses in the nation. We're talking about a campus that has the opportunity to be first. And in that sense, we're talking about all students, all faculty, all staff, and indeed much of the state of Iowa. For from this center of communication, through fiber optics to uplink, we can indeed reach the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special facility. It houses first the head end and all the operating features of our telecommunications system, which expands the campus. Secondly, it integrates that head-end system with the production studios in TV, radio, and print. Additionally, of course, there are classrooms and offices and workspaces. And if you were to come here, sometimes very late at night, even up to 3 o'clock in the morning when the radio station is still going, you would find students actively at work in these workspaces, studios, and classrooms. There is a very special function to this building and a delightful form, a certain elegance indeed, that occurs in the way the diagrams were drawn from the faculty and their work with Todd Communication in constructing the design for this building. But there's another real dedication. And that dedication comes primarily from the faculty and staff who put their hearts into this matter for the students. And these students are now benefiting, but more particularly taking charge, and that's what's so delightful. They are running this system tonight. They are showing you my face and my audio to you. They are putting it out to Storm Lake community, and they are directing and producing and doing all the work for this particular show. They are, in a sense, the inheritors of this particular inspiration of the faculty. I want to think about all those people out there in the past who stayed with this program when times were a little tougher, when the machinery wasn't so good, and yet went out and succeeded nonetheless. They form an inspiration, and tomorrow they'll be back on campus, some of them, to further encourage these students who with greater advantage have greater opportunity. I don't know if you know this, but over 12 colleges and universities have called my office or made appointments or have actually been on campus, one just last week, to look at this system. and they, in that sense, were asking to model themselves after us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and a great privilege that on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the President, the Vice Presidents, faculty and staff, the students, the alumni and friends of this college, many of whom have helped us build this facility, with great privilege that I might dedicate the Center for Communications at Buena Vista College, and I wish to call to your attention three major areas of the Center for Communications. First, I wish to call to your attention the radio studios, the home of KBVC, the first college in the nation to have AM stereo radio, and also serving the community through cable television and FM. Under the direction of Mr. Dave Diamond, the students make great innovative uses of this particular system. I wish to call attention to the print studios under the tutelage of Mr. Bruce Ellingson, the producers of our newspaper, The Tack. And I also wish to call to your attention and dedicate Innovation Video, the home of our television studios, under Mr. Paul Bauer, whose studios and whose students are producing this show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, with these three great studio areas, radio, print, and television, we are able to produce, develop, and interact with any system available. Again, I wish to dedicate this to students, past students who have gone before and set the path, present students who are working so hard to make this system work, and to our future students who will use this system for many, many years to come. To call upon the faculty and for response from the School of Communication, it is my privilege now to introduce to you the Dean of the School of Communication and Arts, Dr. Floyd Pace. Dr. Pace.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Good evening, friends. We here at Buena Vista College know that our colleagues and friends throughout the Midwest and beyond are fully aware of the importance of this unbelievable facility that we dedicate tonight. This school, or this Center for Communication, is unique in higher education because it eliminates the possibility of restrictions that colleges and universities might have placed on them in producing programs for the preparation of professionals in the field. Buena Vista College is extremely fortunate to have such a center. So, on behalf of the School of Communication and Arts, it's a true pleasure for me to assume the responsibility for the full academic and professional utilization of this marvelous tool. I join with Dr. Brown and others in thanking all those who've had a part in creating it, the students, the faculty, the administration, and friends of Buena Vista College, and I look forward to a future bright as can be for this institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pace. On behalf of the students of the Mass Communication and Corporate Communications program, one of our outstanding senior women who's a very good radio person but is now branched out in many other fields, may I introduce to you Senior Ms. Jean McDermott.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Dean Rusk, Secretary of State, described communication this way in May of 1963. Communications today put a special emphasis on what happens next, for an able and sophisticated press knows that what happens today is no longer news. What's going to happen tomorrow is the object of our interest and concern. Unless we can find some way to keep our sights on tomorrow, we can't expect to be in touch with today. Buena Vista College has found a way to keep its sights on tomorrow. By looking ahead and realizing the importance of communication in our society, Buena Vista is helping put students in touch with what's happening today and is guiding us towards tomorrow. The challenge is that this communication center we're dedicating tonight isn't the future, but only a part of it. The future is what we students make of this center. It's a challenge that we gladly accept. The challenge to question and explore is something we can't take for granted, and a challenge that we will not accept lightly. On behalf of my fellow students, I would like to say thank you to those who in the early days of this program had a vision of the future, and also to those who felt that students, as well as communications, were important. What happens next depends on us, and we'll try not only to meet, but to exceed your expectations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Dr. Pace. Ladies and gentlemen, we have dedicated this Center for Communication by Telecommunications System. We would like to continue through our banquet and through the enjoyable evening ahead with the remembrance that there are many who have worked so hard and they have created much, but the future is exceedingly bright, and yet the story is untold. If we could continue now our dedication program, I would like to call on the Reverend Lloyd Parse DeYoung for the invocation so that we may begin our banquet meal. Thank you.